I have been every voice.
You are the chosen one!
Anakin! Anakin!
This is where the fun begins.
Inside your head.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about some really big news for Obi-Wan Kenobi. As always though my friends, before I dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button down below if you've not done so already, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new content. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. We have two major pieces of news for Obi-Wan today, so let's get straight into it. The first one is Ewan McGregor shows off new Obi-Wan beard in Star Wars prep photo. Star Wars España on Twitter posted two photos with the caption, Ewan McGregor is ready to reprise his role as Jedi Master Obi-Wan. The actor is already wearing his new look and is eager to begin filming this month. So here are the photos guys. I mean look at him, he looks so amazing for his age, and considering episode 3 was over 15 years ago, it's truly astonishing how similar he looks to back then. After years of speculation, the Kenobi series is finally happening and I really can't wait. With all of the leaks we've had over the last week and with all of this exciting news, it's truly building up to something epic. I feel like that little girl that I was when I went to see Revenge of the Sith for the first time in cinemas. My childhood hero, and for you guys, your childhood hero is back. Intense emotions all around. So now my friends, on to the second big piece of news. Qui-Gon could be confirmed to be back. When the Obi-Wan cast was revealed, a lot of us were surprised that we didn't see Liam Neeson or Ian McDiarmid, but bear in mind guys, that wasn't the full cast list, that's just what they're telling us. There will be surprises in the show, and Qui-Gon seems to be one of them, and we have some really exciting news for him. So it seems as though Star Wars and Lucasfilm have dropped a hint in the new book Skywalker Family at War that suggests that Obi-Wan will communicate with his former master in the upcoming show. So this is what it says. The context is when Yoda and Obi-Wan go into exile. Before he and Yoda had parted ways, the old Jedi revealed that Obi-Wan's beloved master Qui-Gon Jinn had returned from the netherworld of the Force, manifesting his conscious mind even after death. It took 10 years, but eventually Obi-Wan was able to commune with his dearest friend, resurrected within the cosmic force. So due to the fact that we know that Obi-Wan Kenobi is set around 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, this is a massive coincidence, but it seems like foreshadowing and deliberate planning on the behalf of Lucasfilm. Some fans did point out that this is also a contradiction because in Star Wars Ahsoka the book, Obi-Wan heard Qui-Gon's voice only a year after Revenge of the Sith. But as many fans pointed out on Reddit, communication means it's a two-way street, so Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan could commune properly with each other after 10 years. As I say, it seems very deliberate that they are including this in this book to give us a little tease for what's coming up in Obi-Wan. It's almost impossible that Qui-Gon doesn't appear in the show, so we're in for something special. Qui-Gon was another Jedi who I loved growing up, and I still consider him to be one of my favourite Jedi of all time, after of course Aayla Secura, Kit Fisto, Luke Skywalker, Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi. But Qui-Gon is certainly up there, and anything in the prequel era really pulls on my heartstrings, and it's basically nostalgia city all around, to be honest. Now in the past, a few of you have asked me to explain how Qui-Gon is able to communicate with the living but not be a full Force ghost, so I'll take this opportunity to explain it. Sometime before his death on Naboo, Qui-Gon met a shaman of the Whills. The Whills were entities linked to the Force and acted as guides and historians for everything we see basically in the Skywalker saga. The shaman that Qui-Gon met was really important because he told him it was possible to keep his consciousness intact even after death, and be able to use the Force to communicate with those who are still living. In some ways, you could consider it a form of immortality. Given Qui-Gon Jinn's unique, good and inquisitive nature, the shaman of the Whills decided to teach him the steps that one needed to go through to achieve that ability. Given his unfortunate death on Naboo, he was never able to complete all of the steps. Although his consciousness retained its essence within the Force, he could not properly communicate with the living because he never completed all of the steps that the shaman taught him. But in the netherworld of the Force, Qui-Gon kept on training, and it took him many years. Before the Clone Wars, he could only communicate with people that were deeply meditating in the Force. Like when Anakin decided to kill the Tusken Raiders and you see Yoda meditating, you also hear a voice saying, "Anakin, Anakin." This is also in my intro, by the way. That voice was of course Qui-Gon Jinn, and the extended "no" that you hear is actually Yoda piercing into the future and hearing Vader cry when Sidious tells him that in his anger he killed Padme. So in essence, Qui-Gon was with Anakin on Tatooine when that happened, but by then he could still not communicate with the living. During the Clone Wars, there were times when Qui-Gon communicates with Obi-Wan and Anakin, but it had to be in places when the Force was strong or if one of them was in deep meditation. Now think back to when Anakin, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka went to Mortis. Seeing the world of Mortis is a Force nexus, and it's there where Qui-Gon appeared to Obi-Wan and Anakin as clear as any Force ghost. But bear in mind that that was only because of the place that they were on. Only once they left Mortis, Qui-Gon could no longer do the same thing. By the end of Revenge of the Sith, Qui-Gon had begun communicating more often with Yoda, sometimes more successfully than others. When we see Yoda meditating before the arrival of Obi-Wan and Padme, Qui-Gon had finally completed enough of steps required for him to communicate with the living, and he had been talking to Yoda only through voice form, and both talked about what had happened, what was happening, and of course Qui-Gon took the opportunity to teach Yoda about the steps that the Shaman of the Whills had taught him all those years ago. Yoda then decided that it would be best for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the former Padawan of Qui-Gon, to learn the path to immortality from his former master. And that's why he says to him, "On your solitude on Tatooine, training I have for you. An old friend has learned the path to immortality, one who has returned from the netherworld of the Force, your old master. How to commune with him, I'll teach you." So by the term immortality, he meant that through the training, two things could happen. In death, one could retain their consciousness and again communicate and also interact with the living. Alternatively, he could have chosen to transition into the Force without even being near death, and it was a matter of choice for him. So in case you're confused, think of when Vader fights Obi-Wan in A New Hope. When Vader goes for that killing blow, the blow should have beheaded Obi-Wan, but as we see in the movie, as soon as Obi-Wan sees Luke, he decides to transition into the Force. So Vader did not kill Obi-Wan, instead Master Kenobi made the conscious choice to transition into the Force. Of course, with Yoda's case, he had reached the end of his long life, so when he died because of the training he received from Qui-Gon, his body also goes into the Force. Another interesting example is in The Last Jedi. Contrary to popular belief, Luke did not die from exhaustion, and this is laid out very clearly in the novelization of The Last Jedi, where it was specified that Luke had finally come to terms with the fact that him returning and helping Rey would not actually serve the bigger picture, and I think this is why a lot of people have problems with the way that Rian Johnson treated Luke Skywalker's character. Some people wonder how Luke Skywalker learned to become a Force ghost. Either Master Kenobi taught him or he got it from the knowledge that was in the Jedi sacred texts. So essentially guys, that's exactly how Qui-Gon Jinn became a Force ghost per se. It's more like a Force voice, and there's a little bit of background to it too. What do you guys make of all of this? Are you looking forward to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and are you looking forward to potentially seeing or hearing Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also if you're feeling generous, please consider helping me out by becoming a patron, where for just $2 or $10 a month, you get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube, and you also get your name at the end of every video. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.